Alright guys, so today I will show you how to set up smart actions to compensate very complex weapon recoil. By that I mean recoil which often changes its direction. Here you can see an example for that. When I empty a full magazine, you can see that the recoil pattern is not straight but changes its direction several times. Now the important part here is that the recoil is not fully randomized. So when I empty a second magazine, the recoil pattern must be somewhat identical to the first one. Otherwise you will not be able to compensate it. So today I will show you how to remove the recoil of such a weapon. Now this video is the third part of my anti-recoil series. In the first part you have learned about the basics of smart action based recoil reduction. And in the second part I have showed you how Nexus can handle different recoil compensations for your primary and secondary weapon. So if you haven't watched them yet, then you should maybe do so before watching today's video. Otherwise it might be difficult to understand all setup steps. Now how do you approach such a recoil pattern? The first step is to look up how fast the weapon is shooting. The R99 I am using here has a rate of fire of 1080. That means I shoot 1080 bullets per minute. In other words, every 56 milliseconds a bullet is fired by the weapon. Now this information is not mandatory to know, but it will make the upcoming process a lot easier. Let's empty a magazine to analyze the pattern. I will take a screenshot of it now, so we can better visualize what we have to do. The first 4 bullets follow the same pattern, so that will be our first recoil block. The vertical distance is the same among each bullet, which means that the vertical recoil doesn't change in this recoil block. However, the horizontal recoil changes a bit. But given how little the horizontal changes, I will not compensate that. The aim assist usually takes care of such minimal recoil changes. So let's go into the Nexus manager. As always, I have broken down my recoil in a vertical and horizontal part. As I said previously, for the first block I will only customize the vertical recoil. Now open your vertical smart action and turn off the randomization at the top. This step is only necessary for advanced weapon recoil, which changes its direction. For an easier setup process, I will switch the activation method at the top to press now. It will allow us to better judge the effect of our recoil adjustments. Now in this block we have 4 bullets. The first one comes out instantly and every additional bullet is fired each 56 milliseconds. So 3 times 56 is around 170 milliseconds. This is the duration for our first recoil block. I will assign it to the wait action at the end of the timeline. As for the magnitude, I will go with 2.20. Now let's leave this menu and enter the horizontal smart action. Since I do not have any horizontal recoil to compensate in this block, I can leave the magnitude at 0%. However, I must add the duration of the first block to the end of the timeline. Also, do not forget about the randomization and change the activation method to press. Let's leave this menu and check out our progress. When I press my right trigger, the R99 will shoot 4 bullets and all of them will land in the same spot. So the first recoil block has been covered. Now let's look at the screenshot again. We must now identify the next block. For the next 5 bullets there is a consistent kick to the right side. And the vertical kick is also much larger than in the first block. So this time we must cover both a stronger vertical recoil as well as a horizontal recoil. So let's open the vertical recoil again. I must now add a second magnitude, angle and weight action. Since we have 5 bullets to cover now, the weight action must be set to 5 × 56, so 280 milliseconds. And because the vertical kick is a lot stronger now, I will go with a magnitude of 3.59. After that, I can switch into the horizontal smart action. I will do the same as before now and add the second set of recoil compensation. The wait time must be set to 280 again. Since the weapon kicks to the right side, I must set the angle to 270 degrees. At the bottom you can see which angle correlates to which direction. At last I will set the magnitude to 2.25. When I go back into the game and press the right trigger, my weapon will now shoot 9 bullets. Since I do not have any barrel attachment equipped, I will now start to face minor bullet randomization. This is a problem of the R99. Without barrel attachments, the weapon will slightly change its recoil pattern. So the bullets will no longer land in the same spot, but fluctuate a bit around the center. I cannot compensate that unless I start to equip a barrel attachment. In actual gameplay this is not a problem though, as the aim assist will remove these minor recoil imperfections. Now all that is left to do is to analyze the last few recoil patterns and compensate them via dedicated recoil blocks. The next block covers around 5 bullets to the left, and then we have 3 additional blocks which cover a left-right-left swing. The setup steps are identical to what we did previously. First adjust the vertical and then the horizontal recoil. And don't forget to also add the duration of each recoil block. Here you can see the final smart actions with all recoil blocks. When you are done, don't forget to change the activation method from press to hold again. At last, here you can see the final result. The recoil is now basically 0. The minimal sway around the center comes from the recoil randomization and cannot be compensated. Again, thanks to the aim assist, these minor imperfections will not be an issue when you are aiming onto a target. At last I want to say that when the aim assist is active, you usually suffer from aim assist slowdown. This means that your sensitivity will be drastically lowered when you are aiming onto a target. So you must consider the slowdown by increasing your magnitudes. When I shoot on an aim assist target, you can see that the recoil is no longer sufficient anymore. I would need to raise my magnitudes by around 30% to have a perfect recoil again. So keep that in mind if your game has aim assist slowdown. You will then always have to decide if you want to compensate recoil with aim assist active or without it. So guys, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button or maybe even subscribe to this channel to not miss out on any of the upcoming videos. Also, contrary to popular belief, this channel is not an official XIM channel. I run this channel in my free time to bring you guys the latest XIM news and tricks. So if you want to support what I do, then maybe consider to join the YouTube channel membership. Channel members usually get around 1 to 4 weeks of early access to all new videos. Plus, we also have a nice little Discord to discuss XIM settings and other stuff. But that's about it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will maybe see you in the next one.